Hello, everyone. Welcome to the beautiful first episode of our podcast, Three Shades of Deep. We're so excited. Look at Akoi already doing jazz hands. I love
You
it.
ready?
She's begging it now.
Yeah. Okay, so we gotta introduce ourselves first and foremost. I am Temmie.
I'm McCoy.
And I'm Natasha.
Great, and we are the beautiful, amazing three women of color giving you our three different perspectives on entertainment, social issues, some tough conversations. Basically, enter at your own risk, okay? Because we're here to tell you as it is. Am I right, ladies? We're here to tell you how it is.
Right.
Awesome. So, okay, to get to know a little bit about who we are and all of that stuff just a little bit better, we are going to be kicking it off with Never Have I Ever. So, I think we all prepared questions, but we don't know what these questions are. And
Just let me
basically,
say-
Honestly, I'm ready to just die of laughter with these.
I'm about to
questions.
end lives, expose
Wow.
people. Okay.
look,
Don't
I
take
feel
it hot.
like Akoi is low-key the wild one in all of this. I feel like Natasha and I haven't done anything too crazy, but Akoi, okay.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Like, I know I've done in high school I've done some dumbass shit, but nothing to the level Aquarius probably done. Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen,
Mine's
only,
probably
only
here
God
and
knows
Aquarius
my
is here.
secrets. We don't know.
We got this. So to start, to explain the rules of the game, we're gonna do it a little bit differently. We're all gonna hold up our 5 fingers. My hand is white as hell in this lighting, but that's okay. And what's gonna happen is the first person and when you've done something, you put down a finger, and basically whoever pretty much has a closed hand by the end of the game is the loser. Well, is it the loser or the winner? See,
so whoever puts down all
whoever's
their
done the
fingers
most loses. Okay, great.
So
and
last
then
person standing with most fingers is the winner, pretty much.
Is the winner. Okay,
so it's like a knockout game.
It's a knockout game, basically.
Yeah.
So, yes. We're not going to award you for doing stupid nonsense. Yes, I get it.
Okay, do I put my finger down, though, if, I've also done it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Sis.
Well, I'm going to
Are you
put
starting
myself
off?
out. Huh?
I thought you were starting.
Yeah, Natasha, do you want to start with your questions first? Start with your questions.
Okay. So, do I
Fingers up.
So we're gonna do one question each from each person, and we're going around in a circle. So we're going Natasha, Akoi, me, and then back to Tasha. Okay, let's do it.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay. So, never have I ever fallen in love with my teacher. Nobody. Oh, okay. I was about
excuse me. You're lying. You know you have high school crushes. So you tell all your teachers you're ugly and fugly. That's a lie.
Natasha,
That's
who was it?
You're
Natasha and I went to the same school together. Who was it?
What year was it? Year 8? So it was before we were even friends. He was a student teacher. Handsomest man. I'll never forget this day.
No, that is nasty. That is actually
the funniest story ever too, because what
Tell me
happened was
you missed
that is nasty. That is nasty. No, as soon as someone is a teacher to me, I'm sorry, you don't even you don't register in my brain.
This man was something else.
No.
Temmie has the greatest respect for authority. Okay, that's all it is. So if you're a teacher, but listen, if you're an officer, if you wear a uniform, stay away from me. Next.
Exactly.
But
my guy was a student teacher and everything, yeah. And I'll never forget this day because all the girls. So that time, do you remember when we used to have girls sports classes and boys ones? So he would teach the girls.
That was so sexist.
All the girls were fawning over him.
Exactly.
And oh my god, I'll never forget the day we were playing basketball. Somebody threw the basketball at my face. I swear to God, I burst out into tears. This uncle came, made my heart skip. He's he comes and hugs me
oh my god, I had the exact same thing. Oh my goodness, in primary
school. I was there
Mister,
keep
listen, I'm gonna say his name because listen, you still bad, Mr. Nicholas. I remember you, okay? We were playing, I think it was soccer or tennis. I got hit. My guy came, it was slow motion. My guy.
Exactly. Just slow motion.
All I saw was
I faked more tears just to get the hug longer.
Literally, I got him to take me to the nurse's office just so I could spend more time with him. Okay, I'm like, Mr. Nicholas.
Wow.
I remember and I hated sport as well. So he was like, "Oh, I'm you want to sit?" I'm like, "Yes, please." So I sat down, and that's how it was Sidini and Horio were in my class as well. So then I sat down and I was wiping tears, Tasha, wow, really, you got him to hug you? I'm like, that's how I do, like,
And listen,
I'm like, and
we
look at me, I'm
whining.
like, still like
We
wiping
whining.
my tears. Like, I'm like, can you
Okay.
guys give me a quick hug? And then the
Yo.
moment
You
you
know
turn
what?
around, I'm
This
like,
needs
oh
to
my
be a whole
God.
nother discussion, another story time thing. So we're not
Yeah.
gonna give you too much juice, okay? So moving
Oh,
on, my question, since we've already started talking about schools, never have I ever, and y'all better not be lying right now. Never have I ever wagged school. Good.
Tell me when.
Tell me.
dude, I was not a good
Wait,
child in high
school or
school,
like a
honestly.
So you
class?
don't have a
A
crush, but you need
class.
the damn school. Tell me.
Yes. Yes. Like, literally year 12. Like, I was
Wait. Is this a
tired.
True,
class
true,
or a
true.
school?
Class
Like
slash
Class
class,
or
school.
school, pretty much.
oh yeah.
And
I
Natasha's
was
done
Good.
in
I'm not
school
the
and
100%
I
only one.
wagged.
lots of
Guys, oh my god,
times.
guys, I'm sorry, this is a quick story. My first time that I tried wagging, I got locked in the girls' toilet for a whole period.
The first time I
I
did
was
it,
so
I
scared.
literally didn't want to
I
go to
was
class because it
so
was raining.
scared. This was in year
Why are you
9. I
so
was so
dumb?
scared and traumatized, and my best friend and I got locked in there. We slid SOS notes under the toilet to get help from the janitor.
Bro!
I
And then we had
can't.
this one
I
teacher, Mr. Chaplin, who we hated. He was like enemy. He came. He knew damn well we were trying to wag. And we're like, no, we were in here. We got locked in because we had like the janitor. Like, this is the weird thing. My school was like low key ghetto. Okay, so they used to lock the toilets in the main school ground during like classes because people used to
We
go
used to
there and
do
do
that
Yeah,
as
I
like
did
well.
the
Yeah.
same.
read all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So this lady came in. She's like, is anybody in there? We thought it was slick. We're like, keep quiet. When she gone, we gonna dip. My sister get oh, we hear the door lock. Oh, just like for a whole hour. We were locked in there. We're like, we tried to go out the window, we found them bad. I could not. We tried to go like slide under the door, it was too small for us. All we had to do was SOS notes and we still under the door. I'm tired. I was so scared. This was in year 9. I did not try to wag again until like year 12. Like I was so traumatized and so embarrassed.
Mine was in year 7 and
Wow.
like it was raining. It was like heavy, like crazy Melbourne weather rain. And I was stuck in like a portable with my friend at the time and we just finished like our music lessons and we're like and so I think we skipped like period 3 because it was just that bad and we're like instead like we could either go to class wet or we could just stay there warm and like cuddle up like penguins. And that's what we did until lunchtime.
Honestly,
Then
I'll
the
do the
bell
same thing
went
too.
and
I
like
mean,
that's
I
when the
skip.
Wow.
rain
We were
ended. So
skipping
my
wood
teacher went
class.
and
Like
asked
wood
me,
class was
"Why
just
did you skip
boring.
class?"
And
I was
this
like, "Oh, like I like sleep lessons went longer than expected, blah blah blah, and I had to do something." No, that's fine. Music lessons, that's a different story.
Jesus
You
is
listen,
know?
Lord.
I think we have
Y'all.
so much.
Yeah.
It's quiet.
I'm
We have
just.
a lot
I'm
of
looking at
tea. I
you.
think we just didn't have a whole nother story time. But
Exactly.
listen, Tasha and I, we
Exactly.
got stories for days.
I know.
Okay.
I'm like, oh, I'm like actually
Alright,
quite.
Okay.
Ooh.
tell
This
me your
one.
turn.
Look, we're gonna go straight into it. Never have I ever run to save my life.
I run every day, sis. Listen, I run every single day. Let's just put that right there.
Like, what do you mean to
Wait.
save my life? I don't run
Have
to
you
save my
ever
life.
run in any way? Somebody was chasing you. You're trying to avoid cars as you were
Oh my
crossing the
Dogs,
god,
street.
guys,
my
listen,
Dogs.
listen.
birthday.
Yeah.
Timmy, do you remember?
Yo.
It was like my 16th birthday, and some man was chasing me on the way to school. Actually,
What the
on my birthday,
hell?
What 16th
yeah.
birthday did you have?
Right?
This was like 16. Yeah, because that time Jitmi like moved into a house near us, yeah. And then like I remember I was going to a house, I think it was like athletics carnival, 16 or 17. Some guy actually
Oh,
followed me. Do
okay.
you remember?
Yes.
And it was
Yes.
on my
Yes. There was,
birthday too.
there
I
was a
remember
guy
like banging
following
on her
her.
door.
That's so
Yes.
nasty right
Yes.
there.
That
Well,
was.
I didn't get
Yeah.
followed by a man because, sis, I be throwing out some nasty ass looks. Don't look at me twice. Don't even try nothing.
No,
I
oh my
will
god, like
fight
literally it
you
was the
in
most
this damn
traumatizing thing of my
streets,
life. I didn't even
okay?
run. I was like power walking. And then I started
I
running because I
don't
turned
care.
into like her court and I went into her house. And she was sleeping.
Yo.
This like our best friend was like sleeping. And her brother opened the door and like I went in and I woke her up like, oh my god, somebody was following me. She's like, what? Happy birthday. And I
I
was like, what?
hate
I
people
was
do
like,
that,
oh man.
honestly. Like that even happened to my cousin one time. She came like she was literally this guy followed her from from her school to the bus stop. She lived like down the street from us. She didn't feel safe going on her own anyways, and her mom was at home, so she came running to us. It's
Wow.
like this guy. This tell me, she came in. We let her in and everything. Like that's fine. Stay until your mom comes from work. She can pick you up.
Mm.
My guy comes to the door. knocking confidently. First of all, he was black, but like, listen, you're coming to a black house, yeah? We don't know white people. We will beat you black and blue and gray on top of that too. He came confidently knocking the door. Is she here? I said no, but the ass beating is. So what's good? Like this guy, my mom was like, you better get out of my grass before I call the popo on your ass. Like the
I wouldn't
confidence
even.
he
I would answer with the door, like, so what you doing here?
no, because we
You know,
didn't
like
know.
have a
Like we just
chicken in
like
hand. You know, like between your
we
cutting
thought it was
chicken.
like lost or something though, and he just came out and he's like, "Is she here?" I was
Oh
like,
my
"Brother,
god!
nah."
Like that's and
So,
that's why
but
you
that's
gotta
another story.
pick and
But yeah,
choose.
no, I've never
Really
been
really do be
chased
picking and
by no
choosing.
person in my life because I'm like, nah.
Oh
But I've been
Jesus
chased by
no!
dogs. Dogs,
Black people
guys,
and
I
dogs
almost
though. Black
drowned.
people and
I almost
dogs.
drowned. No, this dog, out of we're in a whole ass park.
I
Out of everyone in this damn beautiful green, he just sees my black ass. Okay, out of
Couldn't you climb a
everyone,
tree?
out of everyone. No, this is not a different story, child. So I was standing, and then he sees me, and like it's like this huge park and it had like a lake. So out of nowhere, it's running, and I'm thinking it's not coming for me. It's not coming for me, but it was.
It
But it
was.
was. I took off. I'm running. My sister, my niece, because we were
Yo.
at the park together, they're chasing me. They're like, run. It was like run forest scene, okay? Run. I come to the like end of the park. It's like water, and like I'm at the edge of the land, and I'm thinking, Christ, I don't know how to
Edge of the
swim,
land.
but you're gonna give me the limbs to swim across this damn lake. I jumped into the water, and then I turn around. This devil possessed dog, stops right at the edge and looks at me and takes a seat, waiting for me to die. I'm just like, listen,
He's like, I dare you to get out of the water. I dare you.
it just sat there and watched me freaking drown. And next,
Did the owner come? Did you not see the owner or something? Like, why did you not have your dog on a
Yeah,
leash?
I'm like, my sister and my cousin went the f off on her because it's like, first of all, it's a park, there's kids here. Why don't you have your damn dog on a leash? Like, if anything, there's a
Exactly.
section for dogs there. Like, I'm like, listen,
Like,
dogs.
let
That's
me
not even the
remove
first
my
time.
earrings after I drowned.
I'm getting like ready. I'm getting heated at this point. But anyways,
I
Tasha, it's your
can't.
turn.
Okay, never have I ever spied on my neighbor.
Child, you already know that. But to be honest though, my neighbor used to beat his wife. So every time they start a fight, I was like,
Oh,
I'm trying to get
oh my
receipts to
god!
help
Escalation
assist.
0 to 100.
I'm trying to get receipts to
Nah,
help
man, my
assist. I feel
neighbors
like
always argue
I
all the time,
witnessed
so
that
I just
shit.
go
Oh my
outside.
god!
Oh
So
my
I
god.
wouldn't say it was spying, because I'm like, first of all, like your life, it isn't even that interesting for me to be standing on like that. But I hear you guys fighting every day. I'm like, okay, if he kills her, whatever. My eyes saw it. I'm calling the
Yeah.
police. I'm testifying. Okay, so on that grounds, yes, I would say I was like
Yes.
spying on them,
Oh my god,
I
now I
could
just view through my window.
risking her life
risking
for
my
Like,
real.
for me,
eyes
it's
to save
I
life.
used to live behind I used to think that, to be honest, I still very much think so. I used to
Mm.
live opposite a gang, and they all used to
I
come.
remember
Child,
this
Yeah,
every
they
time.
all used to
what?
come. The reason I'm telling you, and it was like both houses that I moved to, all both behind beside gangs, were all affiliated with each other. Because I moved from a house, I literally moved like a couple of blocks down, and it was still the same
Mm.
people coming in and out of the house. Literally, this house probably only like a 2 bedroom house. How can I see 14 people in a day inside and out? What
Literally.
are y'all
I
doing?
remember when I used to
And
go
Child.
y'all are
visit
having
her.
meetings at night. Y'all are having meetings at night. What are you doing?
Exactly.
The police had to
Mm.
come at one point and did like a whole raid through it, and then it was quiet. We never heard anything from that house again. I was like, interesting. But yeah, I used to find them on the time. It was none of my
Damn.
business, but I was looking.
But it was
For
your
me, it's
business
like
though.
It was my business
my
though.
room, where my room is, I can see the street. So like every time my neighbors like always they always argue. I'm ready to open my curtains, see the street, watch the uncle come leave, yell at his wife, and then get in his car and drive off somewhere. And the wife there yelling at him, and the children there like, what do I do?
Can't
What do
deal.
I
Some people
I
do?
just too
can't.
nasty for my own good.
Neighbors are something else.
Honestly.
Okay,
Okay, was that Tasha's question?
Yeah,
yeah.
my
I
turn.
Okay,
thought shouldn't you
okay.
be on one as well, like me?
Me, no.
Yeah, because the last one we put it down because I had two before. We were at the same level.
Yeah, two. So
Oh, so
that
we're on
one was
two
the
now.
neighbor one.
Oh, oh
Oh,
my god, I
okay.
put myself at
I thought
one.
that
So
somebody's
we're all
keeping
on
track.
two. We're all
We're
on
all
two.
on
Okay,
two. Okay.
Oh, I was gonna say
This
this
is a
one, but
good
now I
one.
think it just might be me though.
No,
'Cause,
Akoy,
Okay, come on,
say it.
spill it.
fine. Never have I ever been in a fight.
Like physical fight?
Of course, what other fight is this? A
I've
fight.
never been in
A
one.
child.
Really?
Yeah,
Girl,
no.
I've been whooping ass
I'm
Oh.
since
the
freaking
type
year
to break
seven.
into tears.
Yeah, Akoy
I'm
is from
like,
the ghetto. Akoy is from the ghetto. The ghettos of all ghettos. The ghetto
no,
Listen,
I
actually.
break
talk to
into
me
tears. I
nice
let the
or don't talk to
tears
me
flow.
twice, okay?
She
Talk
went
to
to
me
Sun.
nice or don't
Wait,
talk to me twice.
wait. What high school did you go to again? Sunshine.
No, but listen, I still got enemies from that high school. I'm not about to like put it on blast, okay? They're about to pull on me, okay? Let's just leave it
Drive
at that.
by.
But we
They're
still
gonna
got
do a drive by on
enemies.
Yes,
Okoye.
yes. They're all crazy. Yeah, I used to
Okay.
fight as a kid. Unfortunately, back home in Nigeria.
See, I
Anyway,
never fought as a
I used to
kid. I
fight.
never fought as a
Oh
kid. It
no,
was only when I got to high school. That's when I started fighting. Because my high school was very like segregated and was very divided. Like you stuck with your own race. Like it was. If you guys ever watched the movie Freedom Riders, like that was my school. Like in the very
she was living
beginning,
in a
like
prison. That's what it was. It was a prison type situation. You either hung
child,
with
you were
your
my
gang or you got beat up.
you need a
It was a whole
protection.
mess.
Like honestly, you would be
It's
taking
like there were
beatings every day.
lines.
Forget going to
It's like
They were
this
lessons. You
is
be
my
like
taking
territory. That's
beatings.
their
territories.
territory.
They had territories. That's what it is. It was a whole
We had
mess.
gangs. We
That
had stabbings outside of our school. Listen, child, we had everything. Okay.
yeah.
Literally, pretty much
I just
what
used
an
to be an
American
angry
high school
kid.
was.
So
That's what Okoye's high school was.
A child. Listen,
exactly.
that's a whole nother story right there.
Yo,
Anyways, Tammy, I think
my
it's your
Okay,
turn.
okay,
question.
okay. Tell me
Okay,
your question.
Don't kill me.
I gotta pick something
Ooh.
juicy. Ooh. Never have I ever fallen in love or crushed on a friend's boyfriend. Everybody's about to expose themselves. Why is it silent all of a sudden?
Because
Why is
I'm
it
like,
I'm
I'm
silent?
thinking
thinking, I'm
though.
like, have I?
Why
I'm
is it
think. Yeah,
silent?
exactly.
I have not. I think for me, once I see somebody like that's my friend's boyfriend, in my head that's like that's my future
Yeah, that's a
brother-in-law.
bit. That's a no no.
Mm.
That's a
Okay,
no
great.
no.
I'm
That's a
glad that
white person thing.
we're all on the same page on this one. Thank you. I was yes.
I may
Okay.
be crazy, but I'm loyal.
Yeah.
Okay, next.
Is it
Natasha,
me?
it's your turn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think I have. Oh, okay. Never have I ever lied about a family member dying as an excuse of getting out of something.
No, actually, I haven't.
Timmy's
That's
looking, look at
good
Timmy's
enough.
face. That. Have I?
Timmy.
I didn't do it. I thought about it, but I didn't do it. No, I haven't done that before. I feel like
Okay.
that's
Oh,
extreme
so that was
because
That's
on
like that's
what if they
something
me.
my
tell you
dad
what if
does.
they tell you to like produce death certificate? What are you gonna do?
My
But
dad.
it's
Before
not. You don't.
This is
You
something
don't
my
listen.
dad did.
I,
Okay, okay, you can now
Child.
tell my story.
I'm gonna kill all of us right here. Wait, no, Tash, you got two. Tell me how
Oh
many
yeah,
fingers you
I
got
still got
left.
I have
two.
one.
But like before you do this, like my
B.
dad's story was like he's like, oh, every time he didn't want to like break up with his girlfriend and he just wanted to kind of ghost her, he'd just go and like he'd make up some excuse like, oh, my dad's brother died and like my grandpa was an only child. I think he didn't. Oh, he's an only child or had sisters. He didn't have no
Wow.
brothers. So like my dad is
This
like,
is why God
oh,
didn't give him brothers. Okay, he was cursing them
literally.
already. Like he died.
Oh my god. And like these people would then go to my grandpa and be like, "Oh, we heard your brother
Yo.
died." Blah blah. And he's like, "What?" They're like, "Who told you this?" And then it's like, "Oh, this son
Wow.
told you." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. You know, it's very hard for the family. You know, the way my grandpa covered them.
Wow.
Honestly,
You know what? That's
Wow.
an OG. My mother would have ratted me out
Honestly,
right there. She said, "No lying in
ass
my
whooping.
house." Exactly.
Exactly.
She's like, "Yo, we're all
You're
Christians."
putting a curse on us, eh?
Exactly.
You want me
oh my
dead? You
god."
want me dead? I will send you first. I will send you first. Nonsense. I can't.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, okay. Your question.
I have. Oh damn it! I think I forgot. Wait. Oh, okay. This is will definitely so either pretty much most likely me and Tammy knock it at this point. Never have I ever, and y'all better be like freaking lying. Never have I ever cheated on a test.
Never done that.
Shut up.
No.
Shut
Never.
up.
Never.
Shut
I'd
up.
rather wing it.
I can't. No, I literally the way the fear of the Lord was instilled in me as a child. I felt like if I cheated, even if I
Child,
apologized, I was
especially
gonna go to
maths.
hell.
Listen,
No,
maths class
what?
and French class. The way I would cheat to the bone just to pass a damn, and I would still fail. That's the sad part of it. And I was listen. My friend and I, we were so good at cheating, you guys. We literally thought of an idea to make a book of 101 ways to cheat. Listen, my dress, I sewed up answers. My leg, I wrote answers on it. My shoes, I had answers. My socks, I had answers. My bra had answers. My
I
calculator
How
had
would you check
answers.
your
can't.
answers in a
Child,
bra?
I can't.
Akoy, were you like in the test like, let me just check my bra real quick? Like, honestly.
Yo,
you just put it
I
on the side.
can't.
Like, what are they gonna
I
do?
can't. No,
And then on
Yeah,
the
but
yo,
why
back,
would
no.
you
and
open
then
Like,
you
your
have the
bra
Tasha,
in
sleeve.
the
Tasha
exam?
and I,
Honestly.
Tasha and I went to like a really, really, really strict school. Like when it came to cheating and stuff like that.
Literally.
Especially because I feel
If
like
you
all
had a
the
bandage,
like
like they
we
checked
went to
everything.
we went to a ghetto school. Like they'd seen it all. They'd seen it all and more. They were like, "Now we're
Mine
prepared for all
apparently
of you."
Oh my
didn't
god,
because
Sammy,
they
did you
thought
know
they
there was like
did,
this
but I
one
was
kid that
slick
got
with that.
cheating in it was like year 9, the history exam. I don't know if you remember this, when we're doing the humanities exam, one kid got caught. But this guy, he was like,
No.
oh well, he was like, he was in my class. This dumbass guy, honestly, he had the like textbooks right next to him. He bent over and was checking it, and the teacher found it.
Really, really.
I died. People, the whole class
Oh
was
my
just
god,
like,
that happened to me. Oh my god. Not
but
happened to me. It was a guy.
why?
There was a guy in
Could you not have
class.
made it
He
less obvious? Like, it was so crack
listen,
up.
I had a guy in class do that, but then this guy who's a bit like, I think he was a bit like in a spectrum or something. There was just like, you could just tell my guy was a little
Yeah.
special. So he literally openly, it's a no textbook. My guy goes looking, and we're just looking at him like, you can be subtle, like you literally. And then the teacher calls him out on it. The way my guy flips, he's like, no, I wasn't cheating. I was just trying to put the book to close it away. Like the lies was not. My guy was stuttering. Okay, my guy was sweating, and then he just he flips, like he just flips and loses the whole class, the whole people. Like everyone has to stop. My guy goes out. He's slamming the door, swearing the teacher. Like he lose. It's like this guy is like used to getting like freaking 80 plus, like ace in every test, and for him to be told like that's it, hand in your papers because you cheated. Mental breakdown was
He
happening.
was
Mental breakdown,
he
like
wasn't having it.
mental
Yo,
breakdown. So I
damn.
think it's
Everybody,
between you guys too, because
yeah.
y'all, I still
Okay,
don't
so
believe y'all.
okay,
Ah,
nah, Tasha, we're
wow.
gonna finish this. Let's do a speed round. We're gonna finish this now, okay?
She
Because
still
we've been
has
Okay.
two,
talking for
Is
a
it
yeah.
mine?
while.
Is it my turn?
It's
Yes. Tell me
Okay,
your screen is going.
okay.
Okay, you're
it's
back.
my
Yeah.
turn.
So, never have I ever been on an escalator and somebody
No,
has
it's
touched my
Temmie,
hand.
isn't
Is it
it?
Is it
mine?
my
Is it?
No,
turn?
it's Temmie's.
I thought
Yeah,
it
because
was
I
mine.
went. No, I
Okay,
went.
Isn't
I
it me
said
okay.
the
after you, Koi?
No, it's Temmie, then you, then me.
Oh, okay. Well,
Well, okay, it's my turn. Never have I ever had
Yeah.
someone slap me across the face, but it can't be your parent because we have people with color fingers. So.
a Koi's finger's gonna go down. Watch.
I called
Actually,
already
no, I've not
out.
been slapped. I've not been slapped. Child, me be slapped by who?
I've
By
not been
who?
slapped.
Okay.
No, I've
You've been
slapped other
slapped?
people. By
Exactly. That's
who?
right there.
I have
That's right
slapped
there.
other people. I've slapped this one girl by accident. You know your brand girl and you
By
comes out
accident. Well,
and
how do
she
you
just
slap
takes some
someone by
trash and like
accident?
in my head I'm like, I need to discipline this child. I was like, psh. Like it was not Linda too. You said it. And
Like
she
I
just full
do.
of crying. I'm like, I'm so sorry. It just came out of nowhere. Oh, like I full of
Reflex
bitch
action. Her
slapped her.
body
Like her
reacted
face was
before
the
her
other way
brain.
around.
I
I can't. I
can't.
can't. Okay, Tasha, your
Like, oh
question.
my god, I'll never forget the day of
Oh
her
my
hand.
god,
Like,
it's
'cause she
pissing me
was
off.
white as well. Like, my handprint was on her face. Her face was red. Oh
Damn.
my
Your turn,
god.
Tasha.
Okay. Never have I ever been on an escalator and some person has touched my hand. I was
She
After
waiting for
that's
said
them
a
to
that
put
dry
their
one.
hand down.
specifically. She said
That
said it specifically to me.
exactly. That was very
Yeah.
detailed.
That
Exactly.
was
That
very
was very
specific.
detailed.
She already knew. She already knew. We actually
I
had
remember
all
I
these
was with her that
creeps.
day. It
It's
was me and our other
creepy.
best friend. And
Why?
like, she was going, so we were going up. This person's coming down. She should have waited, leaned over and touched her hand. She screamed. And we're like, why are you screaming?
And it wasn't even like a. It was like a. I was like, why?
Ew.
It's not even that deep.
And she refuses to go on the escalator now. Like, it's so funny.
It's so disgusting. Like,
Traumatized.
otherwise, I don't traumatized. But I don't touch the handrails anymore. I actually don't. It's disgusting.
Honestly, it's so dirty too. Like,
yeah, exactly. I'm like, you probably catch corona from the handrail than from anything else.
Exactly.
Okay.
Tell me your turn.
Well, Natasha's already won because I'm done.
Oh, that was your last one. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so
well done, Tasha.
Tasha
you
is
the most honest one.
Yeah, she's done her thing.
I still stand by the fact.
We're gonna talk about this whole issue that has been going on recently. If you've been living under a rock, that's the only way that you might not know about this. But basically, I'm gonna explain to those people. So, Will and Jada have been in the news.
Will who?
August. Uncle Will and August. Uncle Will has been in the news, and it's unfortunate because basically his wife Jada Smith, Auntie Jada, has got into an entanglement with.
Well, she's been dipping on success. Uncontrollable hands.
Honestly.
I
can't. No, but basically, she's been basically what's been going on is August. I actually don't know what his last name is. Does anyone know what his last name is? I would just know him as Uncle August.
It doesn't matter. His name is August.
That's all we know.
His name is August. That's all we know.
Or as
basically, he kind of revealed.
Org. That's an ugly ass nickname for August, by the way.
I know, right? Like, guys, stay on track, guys. So, basically, what happened was, he revealed in an interview that Will apparently gave him permission to
the shade,
to have like a relationship on the side with Auntie
Jada.
And so now we're a bit confused because we're like, okay, so basically, Black Twitter took it into their heads to be like, I just want to say, first of all, we have no business talking about this. We are not married,
but we
people.
do.
We don't know anything,
but we do.
But we've decided to offer our opinion, even though y'all did not ask for it.
No,
anyway.
hold up.
And that's the end. I'll counter. I don't want to hear anything.
It's not our business, but it's our business because they made it our business because they put themselves.
Black Twitter made us our business. That's what happened.
As a black ideal couple, you made it our business.
Exactly.
You invited us into the room, and we're just stepping and talking, okay?
So Black Twitter basically
the people that spy on your neighbors, we're like looking behind the curtains. That's what we're doing.
Exactly. Yes. We are those people. So Black Twitter pretty much kind of like took it upon themselves to understand what exactly they constitute a relationship because according to a lot of Black Twitter people, they're like, yo, you can't be having like a side piece and a whole like open relationship, and which kind of brought about the whole thing about open relationships because again, as Akoi said, these two people, like, we sing about their love, like we talk about how like the Will and Jada love, like they've been seen as like the epitome of Black love in the Black community. And then now you have like all these issues about like possible like open relationships and all of that stuff. There was like I know that there was some like conspiracy theories that were saying that Will had like his own side piece as well, and like Jada apparently approved that.
Oh my god, okay. Can I just say
that was a whole mess?
We need to touch on this. Listen, not even just the fact that Will had another female side piece, but the fact that apparently Will and Jada were in a relationship together with August. I'm like, Will don't want August, people. Will don't want August.
I did not even understand all those conspiracy theories, and we're not even going to consider those today. I here just telling y'all the tea. But basically, there was after all of the craziness that happened, Will and Jada were like kind of felt inclined. They had to present themselves now to the Black community. So basically, Jada took herself to her Red Table. So for those of you who don't know Red Table, the Red Table Talks is like a talk show that Jada like pretty much hosts herself, and she would usually bring people's personal problems there to kind of air it all out and get everything out in the open to work on healing for those people. And I think she, in her statement before she talked about before she talked on the Red Table, she kind of said that there was obviously like a lot of healing that needed to happen. And so that's why she brought herself to the Red Table. And so we watched this Red Table Talk. And it was, I'm not even gonna lie, it was the most uncomfortable thing I've watched in a while because there was a
It was
lot
the
going
most
on. There was
funniest
a
thing.
lot.
I died.
It was.
I'm sorry, but I died.
It was so uncomfortable. The laughs that were hiding people's pain. Uncle Will was not okay. He was actually laughing, but he's not okay.
It's called
He was crying. It was a
acting.
cry
Uncle
laugh. It
Will is
was
an
a cry
actor
laugh.
It
for a
was a cry
reason.
laugh. It was a cry laugh. It was a cry.
His
100% a
eyes
cry
were
laugh.
saying SOS. Okay, at this point, my heart went out to Uncle Will. And
Exactly. He
also,
was
that's
singing
not
that
even like,
Rihanna
okay,
song
that's one thing
SOS,
we need to touch
honestly.
on.
Thinking.
First of all, I think one thing that we need to highlight the fact that Jada, like the whole video is like 12 minutes, first of all. Like all her videos, like an hour plus, whatever. How are you gonna have this deep ass conversation where you're gonna be honest to Black Twitter, the same community that you've gone to, you and your husband, and have portrayed this image as
Mm-hmm.
perfect Black love, and yet when it comes to your own business, you're just gonna cut it down to 12 minutes. And mind you, I think it was editing was like over. I think it was an hour and a half, but you cut that down to 12 minutes. Sis, that's some
Yeah.
Like,
Black girl magic
from my
right there.
understanding,
And
Let me
how are you
like.
going to heal in that 12 minutes? No.
in that
I don't
12
know, but
minutes.
apparently she did. Apparently she did. Sis
Look,
walked out with her
the
Yeah,
shoulders a
like,
bit
how are
lighter.
you healing
Okay.
in 12 minutes? I'd rather sit there and watch an hour and a half video of you actually
Exactly.
going through
If anything,
everything.
I would have loved it if she had August there too. The three of y'all.
yes,
Yes,
Let's have a
yes. Oh my
conversation.
god. Okay,
Let's
exactly.
have a
yes.
And I actually want
See,
to kind
conversation.
of
see,
like,
and
for them to even address the fact that, like, because she even does mention, like, the thing about permission and everything. Why don't talk to August about it? Like, why did you think you want to say
Exactly.
permission in here? Like, why?
How
Tell
you gonna
me.
leave him out of the whole
okay. So
conversation?
first of all, I actually don't think that August would have accepted the invitation to come to the red table
I
for a
think
couple
he
of
would.
reasons.
He
And
For a
would. I
couple
if
think
of
he
he
gets
would.
to
for a
see
couple
his
of
Jada
reasons
again,
though, but
he would.
because if you watch the red table talk, she was saying that like he was actually like really hurt when she went back to Will that they hadn't spoken in years. So I
But
think
the
that
fact that that
for him
haunted
to
August though in his career though, and that's why I
Exactly.
think he went on the radio show and he said that it's the fact that people have been calling him a home wrecker. But it's like, listen, you're forgetting it takes two to tangle and making a further the same way it takes two to freaking be in a marriage and make a home. It
Exactly.
wasn't just him who was in an entanglement himself. We need another pair to be entangled, okay? Let's get it
Exactly.
Yeah,
corrected.
because with
Let's get it right.
First of all, before we continue, what is an entanglement? Because
when I
like
looked it up,
I
it
do
was
not
like to be
understand.
entangled with somebody. I'm like, that does not help. That don't help me.
Right?
What does
I was
that
thinking of the
mean?
movie Tangled.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
what? Oh my god, the tangled memes have been. Black Twitter did not disappoint. But like,
Classic.
Oh my god.
what does it mean? What does an entanglement mean? Say it's a relationship or an affair. Don't
Exactly.
make something sound prettier than what it is. And I feel like that's what Jada was
Ah.
unfortunately trying to do. There's no entanglement. I'm sorry. I just said entanglement. Say it's a relationship.
And
Say
that's
it's an
where Will
affair.
Exactly.
came. He was like literally pulling out of her, like like my guy was laughing. Like you can just tell he was done with her bullshit. Like an
Yes,
entanglement.
He's like,
Really,
Jada, what's an
really, nigga.
entanglement? Like, just
Really,
for
exactly.
like
just call it a
everybody.
relationship.
And
Call it
exactly.
for what it is.
And he had to say a relationship first before she could even admit it. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay.
Mm.
And see, you know what? This actually like digs into a lot of different areas because Jada was trying to rationalize why she did what she did. She was like, you know, Will and
I
I,
was hurt.
I was hurt. I wanted to feel good, yada, yada,
Go to
yada. You
therapy.
know, we were going through a very tough relationship, tough time in our relationship, all
Mm.
of that stuff. Great. I have two issues with what she said. First of all, if you
Mm.
have to refer to it as an entanglement to make yourself feel better about it, does that not already imply some sort of guilt because you're not doing the right thing? Two,
Mm.
what the whole there were a lot of the way they've we don't know what happened in their relationship, but I am going based off what they've presented to us, the
Wait,
public.
August and Jada or Will and Jada?
August, Jada, and Will, all of it. We were not there. We don't know
Mm.
what happened, but basically, it's what they've
Mm.
presented to the public that we're going off of, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Jada was saying that like, oh, like she and Will, they were taking time off in space to determine what was going to happen in
Mm.
their relationship. So if
Yeah.
I'm taking space away from you, there is that presumption that we're gonna come back.
Yeah.
Because we've taken a space
Exactly.
mental
And
recharge.
especially the
That's
way
like
That's
they
a
a
step
mentioned it as
back.
mission
well.
for
That's a
exactly.
step back. So the question
Mm.
is, what exactly does classify as separation? Because I
Are
would
we
not
going
count
legal
that.
terms or what?
Like, all areas, on all
Because
areas.
first of all, for you guys who don't know, like Tim and I were law students, first of all. So we go into the area of like divorce, family, all that kind of stuff. So for us, we're thinking of separation in terms of legal terms, where you guys have
Mm-hmm.
actually filed a divorce. You've been put up like counsel, like listen, first step, you guys, there needs to be a separation for a period of months for
Yes.
you guys then to fully go into the space of divorce. But never once did it mention that we're about a divorce. Because in the end, didn't Will like we're gonna ride or die, bad marriage for
Yes.
Yeah.
life.
Yes. Yeah.
Because
Yes.
for them, when they spoke about it, separation for them, they were like, okay, we're separating because Jada wanted to go and find out what made her feel like, feel better about herself and make her happy. Because for later on, like on an interview with Will later on was released and saying, he was tired of Jada, like he didn't want to he didn't know what to do to make her happy anymore. So he was like, okay, like look, let's just go on a break
Yes,
or a
that's true.
separation and like you figure that out for yourself.
That's understandable, and that's the conclusion they came to as a couple within their own marriage
Exactly.
in a way to amend it. So, separation in that sense
Exactly.
then was that we are
Exactly.
not going for a divorce. We are putting our forces together to save this marriage. So, you take time apart for us to mentally heal, physically heal, spiritually heal, emotionally heal, and when we feel okay with ourselves and then we're at a better place, we can come together and then go forward in that kind of
Exactly.
regard. Still,
And
there's no permission on any basis for you to have
exactly. Yo,
invited
Another
anyone
person
else
into
into your
your
space.
bed.
First of all,
basically,
wait, hold on.
basically,
Not
they
even, no,
haven't
no, no,
even
no,
finished the
because he was
relationship.
invited. Yes,
Exactly.
That's
but
the what it
also the
comes
fact
down
that
to.
you literally did not just only invite someone into your marriage, you invited them into your home. That's your sanctuary
Yes.
of your marriage, and then you cheated in that. Like that's cheating within cheating. Like that's just levels on
Exactly.
levels on levels on
Yes,
levels.
yes. When it all comes down to it, when it all comes down to it, the facts are they did not officially separate. If you're not separated, I would take it that you're still in
For
the
divorce, you're
relationship.
not
Yeah.
Yeah,
separated.
you're not separated, so you're still in the
That's a
relationship,
break.
and so that's a
Break.
break. A break is
Exactly.
different from a separation. A
Mm-hmm.
break can still happen in a relationship, and so if you're out there
And yeah,
looking for a
exactly. And not just a
side,
marriage, like
yeah,
your
in
boyfriend,
boyfriend,
girlfriend.
everything. So if you're going out taking you know like tagging someone else, I would not classify that as something that you feel entitled to do. I'm sorry, that's
Mm.
cheating because you did that while you were still in a
Mm-hmm.
relationship.
Exactly.
It also did not seem like they carried Will along with some pace. And I'm gonna point this out because I was very confused
Mm-hmm.
when they were talking about the fact that like, oh, Will gave us permission.
Mm.
See, because my understanding from what was presented was that okay,
Mm.
Will's like you gonna have your space, I'ma have mine, right? But we're gonna come back together and determine what's gonna go on future in our
Exactly.
And
relationship.
Whether we're gonna stay together or whether
we
we're gonna divorce.
and yes, and we're opening our doors for this young man who needs a place of healing and asylum,
Exactly.
not for you to take him to bed, sis. That was not
No,
the
Exactly.
no,
contract.
no,
You
Like,
added that in
if you
exactly.
think about it,
So,
yourself.
yeah,
so,
they
and
welcome
so
this
I did not feel like
child.
Will was all that aware of their relationship from the start. I really don't think so. Because if he was, he
Because
would
he
have
wouldn't be
brought
as
it up. They
hurt
wouldn't.
as he
They wouldn't have
is.
even lasted that long. But my impression of
Or
when he was
how
like,
to know.
oh yeah, of like, oh like Will gave me permission was because I think he was like, Jada, you
Child.
have your space, I have my space, and August kind of took that as like, oh, so now y'all are like full separated. I have my permission to do this,
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
and then Jada did not let August know that there was actually that possibility that they were going to go back. And so that's why August was like, yo, I'm actually too got hurt because I thought that we
Mm.
were in this
Tasha,
like
what were we gonna
I
say?
together.
honestly can't remember now.
Mm.
I really can't remember what I was gonna say. You guys gotta
I
stop
can't.
interrupting
But
me.
on it, sorry.
Yes.
All right, going into what Tammy said. She touched a lot of things right there. First of all, with that whole permission thing, like August, I feel like he's kind of milking it in the same way though. Like yes,
Yeah.
was not like straightforward with you in terms like I'm gonna go back to my man because we're not divorced. But at the same time, you knew what household you were coming into. It was a married
Mm-hmm.
household. So even though we're divorcing, you should have put two and two together and be like, listen, there's a
Yes.
possibility they're on a break, but they might get together. So you're not as oblivious as you trying
No.
to paint to
No.
be. You're a
Mm-hmm.
22-year-old man. You're not a child. I'm
Exactly.
sorry. You're
And I think, for
22.
him coming into the situation, regardless of like them being on a separation, you shouldn't have taken into the thought of like, okay, I've got permission. I just feel like that's also kind of stupid as well.
That's such a
Because
weird
that's
thing to
very
Like,
childish,
say.
man.
right,
That's such a
Exactly.
weird
exactly.
You're
thing to
I
taking a
think
very
you
say.
should have
childish
gone
Yeah, that's
mindset.
and,
really weird.
like, I feel like, I don't know who came onto who, but like, I think you should have just, both of you just sort of thought, okay, look, you know, yeah, there might be some feelings there, but we also need to consider Will is in that factor as well. Like, it may just be us two now, but there's also that person of like Jada's husband, like, you also need to factor that in as well. And I don't think they factored that in
And
properly.
I was
100%.
very I was unaware of the fact that like it actually affected August's career the way it did,
Yeah,
because until
It
now I
did.
hadn't
That's
really
why he
heard
came
about it.
back.
And so we have to hold Jada to that same standard, which kind of
exactly.
leads into the
Exactly.
whole thing of kind of like the whole like
The
female slash like differentiating standards between genders, because
Not
first of
even
all,
just that, but before that, the fact that with the red table, I feel like again, it was so edited. It was a bit censored, a bit political. So for me, it comes like you have not come here to be 100% truthful. This is a way
mm,
for you to save your coin back, pretty much.
yes,
Because back to the
Exactly.
street,
yes,
like they're
mm-hmm,
dragging you. You finally got a taste of what August is going through. This for
mm-hmm.
me, it's like it's not a
Yeah,
good
and like
conversation. It's
She
not
should have
100%
yeah, she
truthful.
should have owned up to it right from the start, because if
Exactly.
it's a mistake that both of you made together, you should
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
take accountability. You should be held accountable for your actions. Take
Especially if you
Especially
think
as
responsibility.
a
about it as
You
senior
should
well.
person in the relationship.
exactly. Okay, can we also talk about the age difference between both of them? Because a lot of people are actually out here calling Auntie Jane a predator.
Honestly,
They're calling her a
And like,
give me
predator.
the
this brings
receipts
me to
though. Give
this
me the receipts
question
though.
actually, before we actually get into the predator like talk. If August was somebody who was at the age of like same age as Jada, would we still be classify her then as a predator? You know, because of how she's
100%.
prying on like this person who's going through such an unstable phase in his life. And for her to kind of then go and like,
Yes.
like, I'm just gonna casually open my legs for you to kind of like come in, you
Like,
know?
can't.
Child said casually up in my leg.
Like, I'm just gonna be like a 7-Eleven
I
today.
can't.
And you just be like,
Oh,
No, I can't. No,
stop your mouth for Auntie Jada like that.
when it comes down to it, I don't think his age had to do much with it. So much has his emotional
yeah,
capacity to make proper decisions. This guy was hurting. He came to you all for healing, and in a way, whether or
Mm-hmm.
not you feel that you have taken advantage of this guy, because he
A hundred
sees you
percent.
as someone that he respects
like a
and he
mentor
listens
Exactly,
to,
figure.
your
like you hold.
mentor. He's someone he can
Yeah,
rely on.
exactly.
He
So
took your
no.
advice. He found refuge in your house, and like you took on that ownership with your husband. But then at the same time, this is what a good thing you also mentioned, that he came for healing. But we forget the fact that at that time, Jada herself was looking for healing.
Exactly.
How is a blind
Yeah.
man gonna lead another blind man?
Exactly. It's
Let
like
me
the
know
three blind mice up in
how.
here.
Exactly.
So
Oh,
you can't attempt to fix someone else when you yourself are broken.
And
To
I
be
think
honest,
as well
like
with
exactly.
that,
she should have sought the correct help herself. Should have advised August to the appropriate
exactly.
personnel to get the help. Because remember, he's not just coming from abuse or broken. This child has been molested. He's been homeless. Like it's some deep stuff this young man is going through at the age of 22 while he's trying to build his career as well.
Exactly.
He's exposed to the industry. It's a
Mm.
lot to
Because
handle. You should have like, you're not God. Listen, you should have been playing God to begin with. That's it. You should have been playing house. That was your
Exactly.
role,
well, she
okay?
kind of
Exactly.
did play house, didn't
Uh-huh.
Exactly.
she? Though, because she's like, okay, my
But the
man
wrong
is
house.
like
And the
not
wrong.
home.
With the wrong husband, the wrong candle. She got the wrong candle. Okay,
Oh
swap.
Lord. But yeah, like, okay, so like,
Oh gosh.
for me, like, because I'm doing my whole field in education. Like, if a child comes to me, even just a person in general, like for me, I'm taking on that mentor position. I could, if I feel like that child is unfit, and I see, like, for example, like I know with Jada, she saw herself in August. That's why she wanted to heal him. Because
Mm,
she was, because like
yeah.
what
Mm.
August was going through, she went through. And for
Mm-hmm.
me, if I was to see that, I think instead of me going and like associating myself in that situation, I would have to then realize, like, okay, if I go into social,
Detach
yeah, I have to
yourself.
detach myself, because if I go into it, I know
Exactly.
it's going to push back my own healing. I feel like it's gonna
Exactly.
make
And
me
you're gonna go
go
into that mental
backwards. And
space
so from
where you're like trying to save yourself that you see within
exactly,
him. So you're not even thinking about him. You're thinking about your inner healing that
exactly,
still
and I
hasn't
think,
taken
and in that
place.
situation, I would then actually speak to the child and be like, look, I think it's more important for her to actually go and address to that person. They're like, I can't help you. Even if you come to me, like because of like what you've gone through, it's gonna bring back bad memories for me. So in a way, I can help you is by supporting you in your journey, but I have to also put myself first as well, by detaching myself. And yeah, like I'd rather refer you to these professional help services, but like I'm always here if you need help.
Exactly.
And I think that's what she
But
should
then
have
at the
done.
same time, would you also say that also applies to Will? Because remember, it was both
Yeah,
of them as a
but if you
couple
think
wanting
about
to
it as
help
well, with
August.
this situation,
So,
was Will even there permanently to even like offer his help? Because from what I've been seeing, it's more like
I
it
don't
was
know. I
Jada.
mean, if you were cheating in your household,
Yeah, like yeah, that's true. It seemed like there was more of like a
Because
closeness
I don't
between
know, like maybe
Jada and
Jada
Will
was at the
because of like that
house and like
similarity
Will left because like
that
I
they'd
don't know how
shared.
they live
Yeah,
their separate lives. Because if from what I'm seeing, it's like
maybe the separation was like someone leaves the house. Who
true.
yeah,
knows? We don't know the details
Mm,
really, but at the same time, I think maybe that then, if that's a critique, then it maybe needs to apply to Will too. That he himself should have looked for professional
yeah.
help for August instead of them
Just
two
like
wanting to
letting
help
Jada,
this
because
young
if you think
man
about it as
when none
well,
of them has
Will
the
should have known the
qualification and all to
history
do
that
so.
Jada had as
mm.
well. So he should have gone and been that third
But
party.
maybe though he thought like, oh, Jada can relate to this dose, so that's why he can
Yeah.
help.
But even
But
then,
I
you
think
just
in
still
the in
need to
the
be
in,
very
in the
careful
middle
with
of it
that.
all, that you should just gotten the right help.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You just
they
gotten the
should have
right
just
help.
gotten professional help. And which brings me to my next point. Can we talk about the whole like understand what's been
No, no,
going
no,
on?
no.
I've been seeing a lot of like because of all of this, I've been seeing a lot of things about open relationships in the media, and I'm questioning it. So these are our own personal opinions, but we're just gonna go around. What do we think about open
Yeah,
relationships?
so tell me, you remember this girl from high school. The way she like, so this girl was like, so she was one of the first girls in our friendship group to actually have a relationship with a person outside of school. And so we kind of found, and I think the guy was older than her as well, so kind of found that weird.
Yeah, he was much older.
Yeah,
He was like 20
and
something. It was
she was
literally
like
almost illegal to
15.
be
Yeah,
honest.
How
she
old
was
was she?
15, around 15.
Yes,
Um,
it actually was. He was 20
yeah, it was
something.
like
Child.
15 to 16.
That's a
Either way,
predator right there.
it was a very strange relationship. Or maybe she was older. I can't remember, but it was around that time. We were like senior school to like middle school, and so she was like, oh, like we're dating this guy. I'm like, okay, cool, cool, cool. Like for me, I was just like, you're great. You're dating a guy. That's amazing. Because this girl's like sexual history was
Compared to
everywhere,
what?
honestly. She had some very bad
Like,
relationships in the past. So glad she finally
yeah.
found a more stable
Mm.
one, as I thought. No. She was dating this guy as he was dating
Okay.
another girl. And then I was like, what? Like what? So they had a bit of an open relationship, and I think she was
Child.
also dating other people as well. And I was like, I
Yeah,
don't know
she
how that goes
was.
and
Mm.
works because like I'm monogamy all the way, 1,000%. So I remember like all of us kind of addressing this, and I didn't really like understand because she tried to like kind of justify why she did it and why she enjoyed it, and I was there like, oh no, monogamy for me, monogamy for me. I feel like that just was
No,
ringing in
that's
my head. I
not.
was like,
No,
monogamy,
nah.
monogamy.
Look, open relationships is the same as well. I'm sorry, it's not for me. I've said this before and I'm gonna say it again. If the person who you are with is not enough for you, so much so that you feel the need to go find something
Another
from somebody else
person
outside, don't date that person. Don't marry that person. Because I would see a relationship and a marriage as a
to
commitment
each
to one
other.
person. If you're exactly so you in this is not a case where you can eat your cake and have it. It's selfishness and
Oh, let
greediness
me
at
play.
that
Hold
point.
on. Let me play devil advocate for two
Mm.
seconds right there. First of all, because you said a relationship and a marriage is a commitment, right?
Mm-hmm.
But marriage and relationship at the same time are two different things.
True.
So, within marriage, would okay for you then open relationship? I'm assuming that's a no,
Oh God,
Hell
right?
no.
no.
Relationship though, because there's different kinds of different reasons for why people get into relationships. People can be in a
Mm.
relationship just for the purpose of just having sex together. It could just be like a
True.
meaningless thing. Or they might be deep. They might be like, okay, we're together for marriage, da 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 da. So people have different terms of that sets their relationship.
And
So
that's a
maybe
good
for them,
point.
they're
That's
like,
a
you
good
know what?
point.
We're
So then,
coming
okay, can we think
together
about this
to experiment.
in a way
I
of a
might listen.
marriage
I
then?
might be bisexual. Hold on. I might be bisexual in the relationship. I want to go experiment with my other side. Is you cool with that? Yeah. do you, I do me. So that's an agreement right there. So in that kind of
Mm.
regard, is that okay? Because again,
Okay.
marriage, at least for me, they're two different things. I'm sorry, that's because a
Oh,
relationship you can
100%.
break up tomorrow.
Like 100%. So there is a lot more riding on a marriage than on a relationship. That's why I
Mm,
said this is my own personal opinion. But I'm not out here going to just date for the sake of dating. For me. I consider
mm,
that a waste of time. I'm sorry.
mm,
I did not also consider the whole friends with benefits thing a relationship. To be honest,
That's just
mm.
that's
you
a whole other
hoeing
thing y'all
around,
are doing.
honestly.
From yes,
It's
exactly.
like the
So that's
7-Eleven
off
doors
my
again, like
Jesus.
ping,
Child,
ping.
So that's a whole
child,
that's a
Tasha
whole
coming for
different thing. I
everyone.
know friends with benefits is a whole different thing. I do not like
Mm.
I don't do friends with benefits, none of that
I
stuff.
mean, that's one thing we can discuss in another episode, but yeah.
That's never made sense to me before.
Mm,
When I my the purpose of dating to me is so that
mm,
when you date someone, you are basically sitting there having a commitment to each other to prepare yourself for marriage, which is like the big deal because the whole point is
mm,
that then you're dating, you're
mm,
you're not just experimenting, but you're all trying out different things with each other to find out how you'll
mm,
work, to see your compatibility with each other, to
mm,
then declare your commitment in front of friends and family and God or whatever it is that you believe in marriage
mm,
ceremonies. So for me, I'm sorry, there is literally no point to an open relationship if you're looking at it from that
mm,
perspective. Y'all set your goals.
mm,
Basically, I set my goal. My goal is like, okay, marriage is the goal. And
Yeah.
basically, dating is another step
It's
to
like
get
if you
to
think
that
about it, it's like a
goal.
ladder.
So
mm.
we don't it's a lot of exactly. So
Okay,
for me, that doesn't
I
make
hear
any
y'all.
sense.
I hear y'all.
Open
For
relationships is
me,
no, that's not for me. I'm
for
sorry.
me, I think like it's not as black and white. For me, I think there's different circumstances. Like I said before, for me, marriage and relationships is two different things. In marriage, I
Mm,
think open relationships are a no, because like again, the concept of marriage is that again this is coming from the Christian kind of
Yeah.
definition of marriage. I don't know what you believe in, but I think even just take a religious thing, but I think the main concept that's there in terms of marriage universally is that it is between two people who have
mm-hmm.
made a commitment to one another until the end. So then for you guys to invite a third, fourth, fifth party into it, it just makes the whole contract of marriage like invalid. Why enter it
Exactly.
to begin with?
Marriage
And it
marriage
just
is
simmer
not
down the
marriage is
importance
not
of that
between Adam and Eve and Steve and James on Thursday and all of those ones. No, it's just between two people.
Oh Lord.
That's
So
it.
that in my opinion,
That's
that's
not what I
why I would
said.
say for me, um what's it called, open relationships in marriage is a hell no, because that's just us messing around another oath that we pretty much took on. Now in relationships, I think again personally I wouldn't have an open relationship to begin with, because I'm the type of person, I'm selfish. Let's begin with that first of all. You're gonna be with me, you're gonna be with me and only me, okay?
You leave me
That's all
and
it
my petty
is.
ass will come
That's
onto
all it
you. That's what's
is.
gonna happen.
It is
Snip,
what it
snip,
is.
snip. But anyway, that's another story. Listen, it's me and just me though. So if you want to experiment, I'm okay for you to do that, but go do that with someone else who has the time, the
Mm-hmm.
energy, and actually the interest to do that. Because I'm not the
Mm.
one. Let's be honest.
Exactly.
I think if you want to
Exactly.
experiment or you just want to have variety in a relationship, but you're like girlfriend, boyfriend, knock yourself out, child. Do what you ever want to do. But in a marriage, don't play games with marriage. That's you're just
No,
making a
I
joke
think
of
when it
something that's
comes
exactly.
to,
not meant to be
especially when it
taken
comes to
easily
open
like that.
relationship and marriage, it's that situation of like, what happens if you have kids? Yeah. What do you tell your children? Yeah. And then what happens in the situation where you find that you're finding, better love and you're more in a more
Mm.
committed relationship with the person that you are seeing on the outside of your marriage?
Mm.
What happens there?
Yeah, okay, that's a
Mm-hmm.
very good point right
And
there.
that
That's
Yes.
person then
actually
agrees
this
to be
actually
with you
this
monogamy,
Yo.
like just you
ooh
and only you. What do you
the
tell your
contract
children? What
of
do you tell your
that's another thing
husband?
right there.
To
The
your
Exactly.
wife?
contract of open relationships.
Yo,
From
if
my understanding though, Tasha, from what I've got from open relationship, it's like it's an agreement, but it's a
Mm,
non-set agreement in a sense. So then, because that's another thing people were talking about when they were, like I was coming across this conversation as well. It's like an open relationship is a non-set agreement, but at the same time, I find that's a bit contradictory, because if you're going
mm,
to be in a relationship there needs to be verbal communication first of all. Like, if
Exactly.
you want to see other people, you need to communicate that across. Otherwise, you're just cheating on me. You're trying to do your
Exactly. And you're
job.
trying to like
That's what cheating
normalize it
is.
by calling it an open relationship.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly. That's a no for me. So it needs to be an open communicated thing. So that can someone please who might be well informed on this, let me and let us know, what does an open relation contract look like? Does that mean you come around on Thursday, don't come around my house on Saturday because the kids gonna be home from school? What does that mean? Can you come back for a drive by and dinner? Like, what does that mean? Like, what are the principles? Because as Tasha was saying, like, that's a good thing, because you and I might just have a casual agreement to see each other on a weekday, whatever type thing, but then you end up catching feelings for me. Sir, hold up. This was not part of the agreement. Keep your feelings in a container, okay? It was meant to be a casual thing. But now you're out here stalking me, confessing your love. I've got a husband, I've got kids. What the hell? What kind of mess you trying to put?
Exactly.
That's an entanglement
Exactly.
right there,
That's
first
a
of all.
thing. That's an
But like,
entanglement.
what, what,
Honestly,
I
what's the
can't.
contract of it really? Like, it can get really messy.
I think,
That's
can
a
we
good,
also
like,
bring this
valid thing to
point
say. Like,
to
what do you tell your kids
polygamy
if
as
this person
well?
just like,
So like, I don't know if you guys watched that TV show,
mm,
Sister Wives, where it's literally like it's like
oh,
four
child.
women married to this
I
one
saw one
guy. They
episode.
have
I never
like
finished
50
it.
kids all together, and the guy's still popping out
Mm,
babies. Like, honestly,
No.
you know.
No. No. The whole I think at least with polygamy anyway, like polygamy and all of that stuff, there's still
mm,
I personally don't agree with it. I'm sorry. You cannot
mm,
marry me and go marry otherwise. Just marry this otherwise. Don't bring me
Yeah,
into
just
it.
divorce me and marry another woman.
mm,
But
Honestly.
at the very least, those other people are still called wives. They're still trying to like make those other people still legitimate to form like something else. Do you
Mhm.
know what I mean?
mm.
As a different family. This people open relationships are just side pieces. Like on like that most of the time
Until
in
they lose it and try not to be side pieces.
exactly,
August, example
exactly,
Honestly.
one.
exactly. And so these people are side pieces, and for the most part, they're not kept like they're not. It's not open. They're mostly kept secret. Do you know what
Mm.
I mean? Because there are not that
That's
many
what I'm
people
saying.
that
The
I
agreement
meet.
of it.
Yeah,
What's the
exactly.
contract
So what's
like?
the contract like? Because most of the time, people who have open relationships are not out there yelling out at the rooftops that they have open relationships because they still want to
Mm-mm.
try and fit into like that normal standard anyway of what a marriage or a relationship should look like,
Mm.
but they're trying to also normalize something that should not be normalized on the side. That's my problem with it.
Mm.
If y'all really really truly believed in what you're doing, you would not hide it because you would
Bring
not
it to
be
light.
ashamed.
Bring it to light.
So
Like the Lord
that's what I'm
says,
saying. So
okay?
we're talking about this before. How do y'all go to family dinner functions? If somebody from your family catches you with
Oh
the
my
other
god,
person that
like
you're having
I'm
an open
dead.
relationship with, how you and they call a family meeting, how you gonna
That's what I'm
explain
saying about
yourself?
your kids.
All
Like,
of that
what if you
stuff
had
because
grown children? Yeah, like
how the
it's
kids
like,
exact
is this my new
grandchildren? How you
daddy?
gonna explain to them?
Oh, that's another good
Like, is this
point.
my new
That's
mommy?
another good point.
Like,
How they were
how
saying,
would you go and explain
what's
to
the
your
name?
children?
Mm,
You know, like about your open relationship, especially like say they're teenagers, because like I feel like teenagers are gonna be like they're gonna know what's
mm.
going on. They'll be like, that ain't my daddy, that ain't my mommy. Who is
Yes.
this person
Yeah,
rocking up
that's
my
another good
house?
point, because people were saying the fact that at the time, like, what,
Jaden
your
and
son
Willow.
is, yes,
Yes.
Jaden, your son is pretty much the same age that August was when you were messing around
Oh
with
my god,
him.
that's
Listen,
nasty.
first of all,
I didn't even make
like,
that connection. I didn't even
But
think
like,
that
wasn't
far.
and
August
also not
Jaden's
even just
friend or
that, not
something
even
like
just
that?
that. So
No.
exactly, that's literally what I was getting from. Your son is friends with this man you literally were in bed with, in your own husband, with your husband. Like, that's what I was saying. It was cheating within cheating with. Only Auntie
I
Jada
don't know. For me,
could,
I feel like
okay?
for
Only
me,
and then she walked away from that table like a boss. She felt light. She's like, I just dumped it on y'all. You just take it and do what you want to do with it. She did
oh my
not
god.
care.
I think for me,
Oh
like
my
coming in
days.
from that position, my
No.
children's friends, what I would then look at them as like not even my children's friends. They're like, okay, they're my children now. Like that's
Ew.
my children
Mm.
now.
Ew.
You
Oh, okay.
know?
That
So
made
like
me.
that's how I would look at it.
Yeah, I thought you were going on a different angle, Tasha.
Yeah, I
I
was
thought
like,
you were going on a different angle.
oops.
I thought you were gonna. Oh, I'm gonna look at my son's friends and not just kids and what their potential men. Like,
Yes.
No, no, but like that's like what if
No.
like in that situation, like not saying that like I would go like that. No, no, no. Like for me, like what I do is
mm,
like no
Mm.
matter what, like I see that as like my children's friends then become look I look at them as my children. You know, especially if like I've known them for such long periods
mm,
of time. Even if like I just met them, you know, I was still like, you know, like for me, like when I go to like meet, for example, Tammy's parents, I'm always like auntie, uncle, everything. I could not then go and jump into that person's bed.
Mm.
Like that's weird for an auntie uncle to
That's
like, hey baby, how you
disgusting.
going?
Like
Like
honestly,
that's
you
such a big
know,
jump.
like yeah, there needs to be yeah. I feel like that, and that's the thing. Unfortunately, like let's be honest, out in the streets, in terms of open relationships, when talking about like remove polygamy, open relationships are very much common within like non-colored communities. Like let's just
Mm.
be open about that. Like this is a white people thing. I'd never heard about this until I got here. I call it scratching the earrings, but she knows I'm right. I tell you how it is. I have never heard about open relationships before. I was just like, that's cheating. And when people were trying to
Mm.
explain this to me, I was like, I don't understand. Like
What's the
make
difference
it
then?
like
Like
make it make
honestly.
sense to me. I understand that like you're trying to like explore other things. But this is the thing. I would take it as the same like because Akoi, like you brought up the whole like, oh, if you're like bisexual or something, you're trying to like find
Mm.
out. I did
Experiment.
not think that, to be
Mm.
honest, I personally do not think that's an excuse, because it's the same thing as
Mm.
me being like, well, I've actually never dated like a Greek person before, so let me go explore the Greek culture. Or I've never
Oh,
dated
child,
like a
child,
black, like I
we're touching dangerous waters
like
here because
since
that's someone's race and that's someone's gender
then
and sexual orientation. That's
Patient.
two different things right
No, no,
there,
no, no,
though.
no. But that's the thing. I could sit there and be like, okay, I want to explore different things and be like, okay, so for example, what
Mm.
if I get into a relationship with a white person and I'm like, oh, but I haven't
Mm.
dated anyone from my culture before, so let me go have like a black man, Nigerian man on the side. Like, I'm sorry, how about go
Like
legitimate
I'd
style?
rather
Like,
then
I
just
did
go
not.
on
I'm sorry,
speed
I did not
I
dates.
don't
see.
know. I think
I did
it's
not
whatever you
see.
want,
I
though.
think.
To
I
be
think that
honest.
if you're gonna do it, do not do it in a relationship. I do not think that, because some people really would just be like, oh, like we're
But
just
then,
trying to
listen though. But if you don't do it in a relationship, that kind of takes away the whole concept of
Yeah.
open relationship. You
relationship.
need to be in the relationship to begin with for it to be open. Listen. So it doesn't
Don't,
make sense.
yeah,
Or just don't be in a relationship. That's an
don't,
option. But
yeah,
some
just
people
don't.
maybe
That's
want
what
to
I'm
do that in a
saying.
relationship.
Don't, like, that's why I'm saying that it does not make sense for me. Open relationships don't make sense for me, because that type of behavior does not fit into a relationship,
And like what
period.
you define as,
Like a
In your
yeah.
relation,
definition,
in
yeah.
my definition of a relationship, I'm sorry, that does not fit
Mm.
into it. If you want to do all of that
Mm.
nonsense, and like, because some people will put it under the preach it like the context of like, we need more experiences so that I'm getting myself
Mm.
ready for you in your relationship. I'm like, no, do that before.
Getting yourself ready for what?
For what? Like, that's another thing that I've heard as well. People are like, oh yeah, well, like all these experiences of different people is gonna make me help you, like help our relationship be better. I'm like,
Child, a relationship is about growing
Exactly.
together. First of all,
The
nobody
exactly.
needs
only
to come
person
in
I'm willing
Like,
to
perfect.
blend
That's
in
just
is
and
a
I think
me.
that the
professional health
problem,
person.
and see, and going back to the whole Jada and Will thing, this is my problem with open relationships. Most of the time, open relationships, if they've not been established from the start, will usually stem as a relationship
Mm.
as a result of a problem in the marriage or the relationship.
It's
And
cheating at
as
that point. It's not an
exactly,
open
and
relationship
at
though.
that point, as opposed to you sitting down with someone to be like, oh, we're having this problem, let's go to therapy. You're trying to find a solution
Mm.
to a problem in your relationship with another person. Please make it make sense. Like, I'm sorry, that does not
But you
make
know the
sense to
statistics
me.
though, black people not going to
Exactly.
therapy. Not just black people, but
Yeah,
brown community
yeah,
as
they don't
well.
go to
Like we
y'all.
don't go to therapy. We
We
don't
need
talk to
to
people. We like listen,
we need to
conspiracy
normalize
theories, they're
I
that.
think
taking
the
notes.
reason
What
behind
notes you
it
taking?
though,
Who you send it to? Like it's
yeah,
overthinking. And there's a negative stigma for you to actually get
Yeah,
help, which is a weird thing,
so
honestly. But then
weird.
also going back to what Temi said before we move on to Natasha, in terms of open relationships being a Western thing, we also need to understand the fact, like you talking, and I feel like the whole reason it blew up, not just about Jada and Will, but I think it blew up even 10 times more. It's because they're well-known figures. But the idea of
Mm,
open relationships blew up because it's new, especially in black communities. But
yes.
and especially like not just black communities, but non-Western communities. We
Mm-hmm.
don't do open relationships
No,
because
you just
again we
marry
have different
otherwise if you need.
exactly.
definitions. You get married and then you have different, I think the non-Western world and the Western world have also different definitions of open relationship. I
That's
think the Western
true.
side, open relationships are more on equal grounds. You both get a say in it. That's the basic sense of it. But in our
Yes.
communities, an open relationship is the man going out and do
And the
whatever he
woman
wants and
staying
you
at home
accepting
and
it.
she's just
Yeah.
gonna
That's not
sit
an
Yes.
open
down
relationship.
Yes.
And I feel
and
like
be
also
like,
Yo.
welcome,
I
white
so
literally.
communities are
welcome to
still
my
against
home.
it.
Like, no, 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 no.
Exactly, and
I
you're not
literally saw
forced
a
to accept
comment. I
it.
saw a comment on the whole Will and Jada Red Table Talk where people were like,
Mm.
there's some people in open relationships, but they don't want to admit it because how is this whole situation different from you knowing that your man
Different,
is going
exactly.
around having side pieces, but you don't acknowledge it in your
Exactly.
home? Is
Community
that not
dick.
an
That's
open
what he is.
relationship?
That's an
Yeah,
open
I was like,
relationship, my dear. That's an open
so that's an
relationship,
open
okay?
relationship
But you
too.
don't know it
But you
because
don't.
we black, like brown communities, we don't see relationships being open by that
Yeah.
standard of definition.
Yeah,
Because it's made more acceptable for men to step out and play around, and you have to be a good housewife and accept it in order to have a happy home,
Exactly.
because a man is going to be a man. Sorry,
yes,
no, you're still a
yes,
boy, you're still a
yes.
child. First of all, grow up. Like,
And
no,
going back to
that's
what
a no for
Natasha was
me.
just about to say about the whole you know, going to therapy and stuff like that. Can we please talk about the whole shame of like having a perfect marriage and all of that stuff? Because I feel like that's what's contributing. Sorry, the shame of not having a perfect marriage. I feel like that's what's contributing to the whole shame of going to therapy. Because going to therapy is openly admitting that you have a
I think for
problem,
me,
and I
in
do not
terms
But then
understand
of,
who made the
why.
standard of good
yeah,
marriage to begin with?
Mm-hmm.
Who observes this as standard? It's nobody, but it's just matter of thoughts of people. So, and again, it's this comes to our last topic, comparing
yeah,
relationships
Relationships.
right there. First of all, how you compare your relationship is based on your insecurities, based about the people you have around you, based on your own personal experiences in your relationship, based on your partner, based on you and your histories and your experiences in relationships and personal development put together. It's a combination of so many
It
things,
is.
but
It
really
is.
it stems down to a strong seed of insecurity that you had to go look at your neighbor's grass to see what's greener instead of
okay.
watering your own
To kind
grass.
of bring
Yes.
it back
I
Rubbish.
am
to
doing the auntie
therapy,
fingers.
I think in terms of therapy, like for me, like and it's even in my like family as well that like going to therapy is like a big thing. I think for me, if I'm gonna go to therapy, I'd rather go to a person who's of colored skin, who knows what I'm talking about, who knows what I've been through. Because if I go to like, no offense to a white person, I tell them about my childhood, they're gonna freak out. They're probably gonna call child services on my father, honestly, or my mother.
So this is
You know. Whereas like if I talk to like a
Mm.
that's true. You do have to go to
yeah, like
someone
I
that
feel like I had to go
understands
to a
you. That's
cultural
true.
person,
That's
and because
true.
of that, even then, there's not that many cultural people going into therapy because of that stigma of like, okay, like if you're
Because
gonna
they
be a
know what
doctor,
no one can
what do
see
you
Yeah.
like?
them
Why would you be a
of
psychologist?
color.
Like that's the lowest form of doctorate that you can get. The highest one is like a surgeon, and
That's
like
yeah. That actually opens up so
Mm.
yeah,
many things. That opens up
That's
so
true.
many
That's true.
things. Wow. That's actually such a good point because I never thought about it from that perspective. That there's not that
there's
many
not
Honestly.
many,
colored like psychologists because we actually don't
and
consider
then
that as like
Because you
it's
grow up
as
with
because
the
of
a
that like
stigma.
view, like
yeah.
And then even because you know how
if I
color
feel like if
parents
I
are
was to go
like,
to like my
mm,
family, yeah,
when you go to
exactly.
education,
Sorry,
I'll go
like
ahead.
if I was to go
Mm.
to like my family and be like, oh, like I want to be a doctor, they're like, oh, cool, what doctor? Like a nurse, like a, even a
Mm.
nurse is like considered like a
Mm.
higher rank than a psychologist because I feel like for them,
Then a
it's like
psychologist.
mental
That's
That's what I was
health.
gonna say,
crazy.
because like
Yeah.
I think all of us have had the experience of our parents being like, okay, you're gonna go to university, you're gonna be a doctor, a lawyer,
Yeah,
Mm.
engineer,
a dentist,
architecture, the
a
lowest, or
teacher is still
failure.
considered good too. So
Honestly,
An
and when they say
architectural or a
doctor,
failure. I'm done.
like Tasha said, they're not thinking of you being in a room listening to people's questions and
Mm.
problems. They want you in the surgery room
exactly,
performing
like with a mask and
experiences and
everything on,
saving lives. You
and
are
I
a
think
god in that room.
Yes. Oh, that's
Honestly.
true. And I think again, it also stems down to the fact that even the regard for like the psychology as a profession is all because they don't really like a lot of color communities don't
Understand
actually
it.
understand it or don't understand the significance of like mental
yeah,
health
that's
Mm.
and
exactly what I was
therapy.
about to say
And so
too.
they're seeing
Mm.
it as like hocus pocus, white people extra
I think
stuff
as
Exactly.
well
that other
in
people are doing. So
regards
it's
of
not
Exactly.
like just
important.
in the
That's
community, like
weird.
the non-Western community, mental health is taken like so lightly, and like it's literally like
It's
I feel
not.
like
I'm gonna tell you, like, it's not
it's
taken
actually probably
serious
one of the
yet.
reasons like mental health is such a big thing in like non-Western communities because nobody really knows how to take care of it, and it's also that like stigma of like I don't want to go to therapy
Yeah.
because I have to admit I have a problem.
Not even just not take care of it, but because we again believe in, like, again, like Timmy said, we color people, we think that therapy,
Yeah.
counseling is all white people stuff because they're willing to privilege. That's when you have too much time in your hands. But then, and that's like, we think it's a joke. But at the same time, in our own communities, people do have mental issues. That's not a lie.
Oh,
Exactly.
That's a truth.
100%. 100%.
But we in ourselves are uneducated to a level that we think it's a myth. Oh, they just got through like
Just
depression.
gonna go and
They just
check
lost
on
a
Google
job.
what I
Their boyfriend
have.
just dumped them. They're just sad. They're just exactly like we downplay it to the fact like we even
Mm.
go to oh it's just what's it called juju, like we make
Yes,
reasons like
like
fair reason, we reach like we really reach just to like disregard the fact that you mentally be actually
100%.
may be unwell or you need help.
100%, like 100%. And tying it all back into relationships, like that same shame still applies because they're like, why am I gonna go pay someone to talk about like my own personal business at home when I can just sit here and hash it out? Or worse yet, let's not even just try to fix the relationship by involving an external party and showing that we're not perfect people. Let's just sit here and be unhappy together for the rest of our lives. Like, why y'all trying to put yourself to through that type of stress? No,
Misery loves
Exactly.
company, as they
misery.
say.
Jesus, like literally, let's start normalizing talking about issues in relationship. You're sitting there comparing yourselves to, Beyonce and Jay-Z. Their relationship not perfect.
Didn't
Child,
You're
like
sitting there
Jay-Z cheat
first of
on
all get
Beyonce
money,
numerous
yeah,
times?
get
exactly.
money first of all,
You're
and then
sitting
you can can have a
exactly. You're sitting
relationship.
there comparing yourself to Will and Jada. Their relationship is not perfect. You're sitting there comparing yourself to
He cheated on
Yeah,
her.
exactly. Gabriel
She wrote a whole
Union.
damn album to vent about this damn Becky. The whole
Exactly.
world went on witch hunt.
Exactly.
We're still looking for Becky. Okay, it's not
Yeah, yeah,
perfect. It's not
you're sitting there
perfect.
comparing yourself to all these people. You don't know what's going on in
Exactly.
their relationship. They're probably going to therapy.
Mm.
You're not. So
I
how
think
are
it
you sitting
also
there comparing
same
yourself to
goes
other people?
for
Like we
outside
really
of the celebrity
we need
world
to
as
stop
well.
Foolish.
setting
Just like
unrealistic
comparing yourself
standards.
to like your friend's relationship, or like just a random couple on the
Oh,
street that you
Mm.
see that might be like taking selfies together. I think if you feel
Mm.
that insecure about your relationship,
Definitely.
then you have to look for like pros and benefits from like another person.
You need to go back. You need to, because
yes,
you missed
yes.
the benefit
Exactly.
of your time, your season of singleness, sister. That's when you're meant to be putting
Yes,
seeds, watering
Yeah,
exactly.
yourself.
exactly.
Okay, for you to be feeling secure in your relationship, you need to go back and work on you, because, like I said before, you comparing your relationship, or you comparing yourself in a relationship, or you comparing your partner to another person's partner, is nothing more but a
No.
Exactly.
reflection of
I
an
think from that you
insecurity
then
And
need
that's
that
a
to
you
red
go and
are
flag.
check
yet
And
your
to
that's a
work
red
friend.
flag
on.
for
You
some
need to go
people.
and like even like talk to your partner and be like,
Exactly.
look, this is what I feel. You know, is like I've looked at this couple and like I feel like we should be at that standard. If you feel like you need to be that standard, talk to your partner. You know, get their opinion because obviously for them, they obviously think you're probably already at that standard. And you just don't see it. You know what I mean? I think it just need
Mm.
that communication in place.
And the sad thing with that, too, the dangerous thing is that I've met people that do that, and I think for them, they delusionally believe that it is a characteristic, like, thing of them. I'm like, no, that is not part of your
Mm.
character. That is a flaw. That is a
Mm.
flaw. That is
I
a
don't even
bad
think it's a flaw.
habit.
I
It's a
think it's
difference
something
between
that
you
you need
wanting to
to like
constantly wanting
fix.
to improve.
I think it's something that like you need to kind of change and like,
But that's the
mm,
thing, that some people don't see it as that. People see it as a part of their personalities. Like, oh, I'm just trying to like upgrade us. I'm trying to keep us like, growing together, whatever. Look what they're doing. You're constantly making people a competition when there's not even no
I
game
feel
to
like
begin
that's
with.
not
First
even
of all,
growing
Exactly.
check
together.
yourself.
That's
Like,
you
is there even
taking
a game
steps
going
and then
on?
dragging that person along rather than you both taking those steps together.
Exactly. When there's
Mm,
nothing wrong with them to begin with, and then you make that person feel miserable being with you, and you make them feel less of a person because you've kind of put in their mind that they're not good
exactly.
enough yet. They need to constantly improve
Like
to
that's just
kind of meet this
toxic. If you think about it,
unrealistic
that's pretty
standards that
much
you
for me.
have.
If I was to look at it on like the outskirts, I would say that as a toxic relationship. You know, for you to then go and like
Yes,
compare yourself to another
exactly.
person and then keep like putting that like ideal expectation in your relationship. Like that's not gonna take you anywhere. It's just gonna like push you more and more back. And as you said, like a quote, like watering the garden. You
Yeah.
can think of it. You need to take out the weeds, man. If you don't take out the weeds, your roses
Mm.
won't grow.
Mm.
Yeah. Mm.
The weeds and them
Exactly.
thorns.
And the phones.
Pluck, pluck, pluck,
Exactly.
pluck, pluck. Okay, pluck away.
Yo, but anyways, that was actually such a good conversation, and I really hope that to everyone that's been listening, that's like giving you a little bit of something to think about. All
That's it
our
for the
opinions,
weekend.
yeah.
Now you got your dosage. Feel
Exactly
good for
you
the
got
weekend.
exactly. So like we said, we're all three different perspectives. We all believe in different things. we're all, but we're all coming together to just give our little something something. So yeah, make sure that you're following our pages on Facebook, Instagram, wherever it is that we are present. Make sure that you're subscribed to our channel so you get updates and notifications of when we post. Look, I'm not gonna promise that we're gonna be there every week, but we're gonna
Like, we're
try.
very busy
Okay, we're gonna
people.
try. We're gonna try.
We're trying to make
Exactly.
empires on the side,
Empires
Empires
on the
on the
okay?
side.
side.
There's a
We're
lot
trying
of
to
there's a lot of side
graduate
projects
while being in
happening.
like
So
COVID lockdown. You know. Yeah,
Tasha trying
exactly.
to
You know.
get snatched to
But
get
by the
herself
time this
August,
video comes out,
okay?
exactly.
let's just hope that like I won't be too snatched
Time
by
is
then. You know.
ticking.
So yeah.
Exactly. So, look, we got it all. But yeah, anyways, we're going to leave it there. Hope that you all have enjoyed this episode, and we will see you in our next one.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Okay.
Okay. You can stop your recordings now.
Child, that was good. I think if with cutting, we might just come to like just over an hour, or oh shit, let me stop. Okay, guys, press stop on your things. I got an hour 43, but it's okay.